You're new to closing, and right now you're feeling very overwhelmed. I have seen it with my own RSA students, and what tend to happen is when you have access to so much information, you get paralysis analysis. You don't know what to do. You feel that you want to go and learn this. You feel like you want to go and use this fancy analogy, and whatever happens is you don't actually learn the basics, like the fundamental foundations of what's going to actually help you get through the process. And that's why what I actually teach my guys is a very simple 6 step process. And that's what I want to share in this video for you, because when you have access to so much information on YouTube, you tend to want to consume as much as possible, and then you never actually implement anything. So, what I want you to be able to do today is just take one part of what I'm going to share and then implement it into your actual calls and get really, really good at it. And I suggest it's discovery. So, what I do personally is we have a 6 step process, which is step one is the meet and greet. Yeah. And setting a very strong frame. Step two is the discovery of like why they're actually here. Get a very clear understanding of their why. Not they just want to make 10K or lose 20 kilograms. That's not a good enough answer. Understand what's really behind that. Yeah. And then we've obviously got the future pace, which is like, how would it feel to be 20 kilograms lighter? How would it feel making $20,000 a month? Yeah, get them to visualize their future. And then you have the cost of an action, pillars, which is pretty simple. You have 3 pillars in your program, and then you put that to the actual problem. So your pillar basically solves their problem. And then you objection handle, right? So already now you're feeling overwhelmed. See how much information I've just given you in such a short time. So take one part of that 6 step process and dial in, and do 1 week of only focusing on one aspect. And I'm going to share with you, I got this here, like this cube, it's a timer, and it's a productivity timer. So what that allows you to do is completely put your phone away and just practice. And if that's your script and your framework because you're brand new, do that. If it's learning obviously how to objection handle because you're maybe a lot more experienced, practice objection handling. But if you're trying to consume so much information, you are not going to come across confident on your sales calls. Your prospects are going to pick up on that. And then what does that mean for you? People don't buy from people that don't sound like an expert, someone that doesn't sound confident, someone that hasn't got leadership qualities. So you need to really understand that less is more. And when that clicks for you, right, and you master the basic fundamentals of sales, yep, then you can start adding in the source. You can start adding in like the analogies, the metaphors, the storytelling, yep. But I don't even have my guys in RSA doing that unless I know they can do the foundation at a very good high level, and they're closing deals, not just role playing, they're actually closing deals with the basics, because the basics will take you to 10K a month. Like, there is no doubt about that. Like, there's something out there called KISS. Yeah. Keep it super simple. So if you're not where you want to be right now, ask yourself this: have you actually fractionalized and dissected what you need to learn so you can actually earn more? Or are you just adding more and more content to you, which is then making you feel overwhelmed? And I actually seen this with one of my students, Kyle, like role playing, absolutely amazing. Like he's getting like elite training on his offer with the likes of like Matt Ryder and very other successful sales coaches out there as well. Like, and credit to him, he was listening to all of the training. as well as my training, as well as role playing, as well as going through materials. And I was like, this is not making sense. Like, his skill level was a lot better than some of the guys that are actually inside of the offer, but he wasn't getting the results. And I started to understand that he was consuming too much. He wanted to know everything about everything. And then you end up becoming a busy fool because you're not implementing the basic on your calls, which means then you don't know what's working and what's not working. Because if you can't understand if the basics are going to be working on your calls because you're not doing them, because you're trying to maybe try every single script that's out there, every bit of information that you get, you keep chopping and changing it on your calls, you're never really going to get the data to know if what you've actually got works. So what I would take away from this video is practice and practice and practice one part of your script. And I would go in with the discovery and really understand how to get to a deep, meaningful conversation so that your prospect feels heard. If your prospect feels heard, they feel comfortable. If they feel comfortable, there is a readiness to change. If you can bring out enough emotion of getting to like a level 3 conversation. And I'm going to drop some sauce now. Someone wants to make $10,000 a month. That is a label that they have just said. That isn't their goal. Yeah. That's just an identity that they're attached to. I want to make 10K a month. So you ask them a question like this. Okay, so let's fast forward, 6 months from now, you're making 10,000 consistently from your laptop, being able to travel anywhere in the world. Like, what does that actually do for you personally? Well, it actually allows me to have a break from the rat race. I've been working since I'm 16 and I'm now 32. I've never really got to experience the world. I'm still single and I might be able to go and find the love of my life, my partner. Oh man, like I love that for you. Like, knowing that this is more than just like money and making 10K, you see that it's giving you the time to go and see this beautiful world. Because like, what part of like anyone out there doesn't want to go and see this beautiful world? And it's been 16 years that you've been wanting to kind of leave your hometown and go and see the world. And it's actually going to allow you to go out there and meet new people. And like you said, find the love of your life. So let's say you find your love of your life and say 5 years from now, like, where do you see your life now? Well, my dream would be to go and live in Asia, because I feel that maybe the West isn't the place to bring up children. Do you now see how we've gone from a level 1, which is I want to make $10,000, to a level 2, which is I want to find the love of my life, my partner, to then actually raising a family outside of the westernized world in Asia? Wow, like, absolutely love that for you. It seems like you've put a lot of thought into that. Like, do you feel like the way that you're currently like trying to make money online at the moment, like after these last 4 years of you trying, do you feel like you would eventually kind of get to 10K a month? Or do you feel like maybe you need to kind of like change your approach and maybe make some possible changes so you can get there? Like, how do you feel? Yeah, I feel like I do need to make some changes. I've kind of been stuck in my ways. Okay. And what do you feel like 1 or 2 things that you need so we can actually get you to where you want to be as kind of quickly as possible? And then they're going to tell you. And yeah, like, this game, a lot of people overcomplicate it. You just have to have a meaningful conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation, but understand what part that you're actually in within your process. Because the word sales is changing. We are there to serve. the double glazed sales rep, something that I used to do, car sales, mortgage advisors, all of this kind of stuff is what's given salespeople a bad name. So like when you come into sales, you're already feeling overwhelmed because you kind of tell people that you've gone into sales, and then you now think that your identity is that you're this closer, you identify yourself as, yeah? But really you're just there to serve someone. But how can you serve someone if you're overwhelmed all the time because you're constantly taking information? Are you going to be truly present on your call to actually listen to what they're saying? Maybe you're not present because you're thinking about what you want to say next. And he says, yeah, I would love to obviously, eventually, obviously raise my family in Asia. And then you say, okay, so like, why is it important to you now then, like, to do this? He just gave you the level 3 answer to the true emotion. I want to raise a family in Asia, but you wasn't present because you was focusing on the next question because you haven't dialed in your discovery process. So really focus on one part. If it's discovery, if it's future pace, if it's cost of action, if it's your pillars to your solution because you're not that confident with that, really dial it in and focus on it so you can actually execute with confidence. And I guarantee you will feel more comfortable once you've got that ticked off. Then go to your next stage and to your next stage. And before you know it, 3 months of using something like this, I will put this in the description, because right now your attention is literally being taken from you. I am taking your attention right now, but I am giving you serious value. Yeah? But everyone is trying to steal your attention. Your time is your biggest asset. So make sure that you're putting your time into the right things. That's going to get you an ROI. And I have literally 10, 15 people every single week messaging me, how can I get an offer? I want to learn sales. Well, guess what? There is free information on YouTube for you to learn sales. But the question is, do you actually value the free information that you're getting? And if you don't, because that's someone like myself, then I invested $17,000 in 2024 on coaching, education for sales, the internal game. Because for someone like myself, when I make an investment, I'm making an emotional connection to getting the outcome. And if you're like me, I completely get it. So yeah, if you're interested about obviously improving your sales skills, dissect your script. All right, I'll see you all in the next video.